Jordan, my next one is a movie called Eighth Grade.
Hey guys, it's Kayla back with another video. So, the topic of today's video is being yourself. Being yourself can be hard, and it's like, aren't I always being myself? And yeah, for sure. But being yourself is like not changing yourself to impress someone else. A lot of people like call me quiet or shy or whatever, but I'm not quiet.
Most quiet, Kayla Day.
I don't talk a lot at school, but if people talk to me and stuff, they'd find out that I'm like really funny and cool and talkative. By the way, I like your shirt a lot. It's like so cool. What?
Kayla, one more week of 8th grade, huh?
Huh?
I said one more week of 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, huh? Okay, so growing up can be a little bit scary and weird.
We will begin to explore these changing bodies of yours. It's gonna be lit.
Which, in that movie they say
This is that there Bill Burnham one that you mentioned before.
Yeah. See, it's in this movie it says that she's in middle school, but middle school is imaginary and fake, so she's in high school.
What is middle school?
We were in elementary school till grade 7, and we went to high school at grade 8. So middle school, therefore, is fake and not real.
What is middle school?
But so this movie is about I want to get the character's name right. Hold on.
I've never. What is middle school?
You know what middle school is?
I didn't go to a middle school.
Middle school is 6.
I don't know what year. I know that it's like it's an in between year thing, but I'm just like I'm literally. What years is middle school?
I believe it's.
I genuinely do not know.
I believe it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, depending on where you are, or it's 7th and 8th grade.
Okay. Because yeah, for me, I went to elementary until I was in 7th grade, and then the rest was just high school.
Back in the day, in Richmond, Mick Roberts was a middle school, and McNair was a high school. So I think you went. I think it depends on where you are, where you live, but I think it was 8, 9, and 10, and then high school was 11 and 12.
All right, audience, tell us what
Yeah,
your school experience was like.
Did you go to
Did
middle
you go
school?
to middle school? What years were they?
Anyway, so this is 8th grade, starring Elsie Fisher, and directed and written by Bo Burnham, of internet fame. Bo Burnham, one of the guys I respect quite a deal, creative artist I respect a great deal. He's never made a creative piece that I did not like. But this is basically about 8th grader Kayla, who she is about to go to high school. So she's about to graduate middle school and about to go to high school. And it's about her navigating that social transition. She's 13 and is very awkward. She has a lot of social anxiety and has trouble talking to people and making friends. But in her spare time, she makes YouTube videos where she is very confident and very articulate, giving advice to kids on how to navigate through life and be better and whatever. But she has troubles applying that to the real world, which is obviously not at all relatable to me and Jordan.
I wonder where Bill Burnham got his inspiration from. You
Right?
know, yeah. Who could say, really?
But it's just a series of events. It's one of the most uncomfortable movies I've ever watched, but it's uncomfortable in that it makes you feel like you're a high school student again. It makes you understand that period of time. Yeah, and like more than I've watched so many high school movies at this point, not including the ones I watched this week. And this one the most is what it felt like to be in high school when I was a kid. Like, there's a point in this where she's trying to have not to a degree. There's parts in this that I went, okay, no, I obviously didn't experience that to the degree that she is. But there's a point where she's like trying to have a conversation with someone, and the girls can't look up from their phone long enough to bully her. Like, they can't engage with her long enough because they're so pulled off by their phone. One of the more
That wasn't quite my experience.
We were just there at the beginning of text messaging. It was kind of and the
Yeah.
iPhone. Like if Facebook was a thing when we graduated, so there was still the pull of social media, but not like so much of this movie is like she has all the confidence in the world on the internet. Like it shows her like interacting with Instagram and Snapchat and all these people on the internet, and she has all this confidence on the internet. But the minute she goes in the real world, it all evaporates.
Yeah,
And,
we were kind of just getting that stuff when I left high
pretty
school.
much, yeah. And she goes on this kind of like this you go to high school mentorship program where you make friends or you make a friend with one of the older high school students and they show you around high school and show you what's up. We went through a similar thing, and she winds up connecting with one of the girls in the program. And again, trigger warning, this is gonna be kind of an upset, but she winds up hanging out with them at the mall, and it was just this very relatable scenario of she's been invited by a friend to hang out with a third group of friends who she doesn't know, and she's trying to like engage and like laugh and play along, but she doesn't know these people. Like she's at this party because she's just been invited along as a sort of an afterthought, and I'm like, I've been there so many times. Or like there's a scene early on where she gets invited to this pool party, and there's an element of it that is not relatable because the mom clearly only does it because she wants to fuck Kayla's dad. But anyway, she gets invited to this party that there's a person who she only got invited because that person's mom or dad invited you to it, and you get stuck going to it even though you don't want to, and you have to somehow fit
You're
in.
dragged to it. Yeah.
We've all been like I'll never forget there was a party I went to at the end of high school that my mom insisted I go to that ended with a guy kicking out a friend of mine and screaming at him. And after that, I wouldn't do any more of those kind of events. But like, it was just very relatable. But anyway, so they're driving her home, and the guy drops the friend off first and gets Kayla in the car alone. And earlier in the movie, while trying to impress a guy, she's like, oh yeah, I give blowjobs. I give blowjobs all the time. Not clearly knowing what they are, and then it cuts to a scene of her looking up, and she's like, "Ow, gross, no." And so he gets her in the car, and he's like, it's this really uncomfortable scene of him like, "You want to play truth or dare?" And he like ends up taking off his shirt and propositions her into, and she's 13, and it's really it goes on for this movie expertly is uncomfortable, but most of the scenes don't go on for too long. They end just at the moment of peak discomfort and then move on. And it's really expert in that way. And then that scene goes on for longer because it's extra uncomfortable, of him trying to get her to touch his wang, essentially. And she refuses. She's out and out like, and that's the difference between a movie written by someone our age versus a movie from like the 1970s or 80s. That transition we were talking about is so present here, where she's like, no, and he gets mad and he does that. I just wanted to, teach you, and like now you're gonna wind up in a bedroom with some boy, and he's not gonna like you because you didn't do it properly. Don't you want people to like you? Don't you want to do it properly? Yeah, and she's like in tears and crying and whatever, and yeah, it creates that discomfort, but it doesn't go too far, and I really appreciate that. It's really, really good. I'm sorry, I'm just looking for oh yeah, the most depressing bit in the movie is when they're doing active shooter drills. There's a bit where they're doing, what an active shooter drill is?
I assume it's to practice for when the high school murderers come in shooting people up.
Yeah. And
it's sad that they have
it's
to
such
have
a transition
that.
They're treating
equivalent of an earthquake drill.
Yes, or a fire drill. They're treating it like it's an earthquake or a fire drill, and it's got that level of the desensitization or dehumanization.
Disassociation.
Thank you. Where you're like, this is just such a part of school existence.
Which is sad.
Which is so fucking sad. It's so sad.
That really is a thing that that shows its Americanism.
Right. right? But my thing was like, when I was watching this, I was like, yes, this is how we talked when I was in high school. And this made me go like, whenever I say, this doesn't feel like high school to me, or this doesn't feel like what high school is to me, this does exactly feel like what high school was like to me. The way the characters in this talk, the way the kids in this talk, they sounded like regular 13 and 14-year-olds. Where like, you have a little bit of knowledge, but not a ton of knowledge. But you know some stuff, but not everything. And that's going to come back at least one more time before the end of today. And like, I really appreciated it. And yeah, I think it is a really great movie for, like, apparently it got rated R for some reason. And so kids couldn't go watch it. So apparently in order to allow kids that age to watch it, they did a bunch of free screenings. And I do think it's a great movie for adolescents, like people. And it's the kind of one where it ends with her doing a time capsule to her at the end of college, or end of high school. And I would love to see a sequel to this. I would love to see 12th grade. And I think, because this came out in 2018, I think had COVID not happened, COVID fucked up so much. I think 12th grade would have happened. I would have loved to see a sequel to this of her at the end of high school, see where she's at, see who she is, see who she's become, how she's changed. Is she still doing YouTube? Did she commit to that?
Now they need to have, however many years later, they have the sequel film where now she's the teacher.
That would also be good. I would love that too. I think Bo Burnham is a good filmmaker. I really do, and I do think that. I don't know why he didn't make more movies. Like, he should have. He definitely had something to say here that was worthwhile and interesting to say, and it's a good movie, and it's that's right. That's me trying to stall. Final thing I liked about it. It's all from one of the cinematography things. I always love shouting out excellent cinematography, and one of the cinematography things I love is it's always told from Kayla's perspective. So whenever you see an adult, it's always shown from her perspective. So it's not quite Peanuts level of not seeing the adults' faces, but like there's points where like you see her face and like the adult, its face is obscured. So like the mom who invites her to the pool party, you don't see her face at first because it's all about Kayla's anxiety. Or like when it's the guy trying to proposition her, it's from the waist down and his face is blurred. Because she's so intensely feeling that anxiety, and it's so well represented. Her awkwardness is so well. I love how he doesn't make her look. There's no real. He doesn't de-emphasize her physical flaws. So like, you know, other filmmakers in the 1980s or 90s or whatever would have covered up her acne with makeup. He doesn't.
Yeah.
It's the focus of a lot of shots of her makeup.
She looks human.
She looks like a girl who's 13, and I like the idea that being like this because it's written by a guy. This easily could have been a boy character, and I like that these themes of adolescence, of being awkward, of like having awkward sexual questions is not gender specific. We all have them. Boy, girl, doesn't matter. We all have them, and I like that. I like that she's just as awkward as a boy would be, in largely the same ways, because at that age it's all the same. Yeah, really exceptionally well made movie that obviously was critically praised and made a bunch of money. Another good thing to come out of this is the girl who plays the main girl. She did an episode of the 10-Minute Power Hour, and it's honestly pretty funny.
When worlds collide.
But yeah. If you don't like feeling uncomfortable, this might not be for you. But like, but it's the kind of uncomfortable where you're like, I should be feeling this. Like when I was 13, I felt this. Like it brought me back to that age, and in both a negative and positive way. It makes you confront how you felt back then, and I think a good movie does that. It makes you feel things. So yeah, 8th grade.
Hey there everybody, it's NCard Justin here. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen 8th grade? Do you think this movie is a classic? Did it make you uncomfortable? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see the full podcast that this is from, you can click the box on the left. That's our high school episode. Or if you just want to see a random video, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. You can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all next time, everybody. Have a good day.